Hello! Today, World Socionic Society interviews Alex Fuentes. Hey Alex, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing rather well. I just had a multiple hour walk back from my cousins, but I'm alright now.
Sounds
Right.
fun.
Yes. It was fun. I think I managed to get a bus towards the end, so it was alright, but I just had to find the bus. Manchester's
Hmm.
confusing. Okay. Yeah, but I'm okay now. I've put my feet up, so it's okay.
Just rest them, get a little massage.
Yeah, exactly. Just yeah, just put them up on the couch. They're recovering. It's okay. No blisters like that last time I wore these shoes.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, yeah. You can go. Sorry.
yeah, I guess. Right, enough about me. You ready for the questions?
Yep. Let's go.
Excellent. Question one: how did you get into typology?
Um, MBTI, like everyone else.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember in middle school, um, my mom had me take this online personality test, and I was like, okay, I'll take it, and I did, and it was just the regular standard MBTI four-letter typing, so it was just extroverted, intuitive, sensor. It was just the basic things, not cognitive functions, and I got ENFJ,
Hmm.
and I never thought about it since. And then in high school, towards this end of my last 2 years, I got into actual more into typology, like with cognitive functions, enneagram, and yep, and then socionics I didn't really get into at all. I know nothing about socionics, so that's why I'm actually having you do this interview.
Fantastic. Okay, and so what interested you in psychology in general?
I don't know. I've always been a people's person in a way. I've never had anyone dislike me ever, and I don't know, people. I like people.
Hmm. So you never had anyone dislike you, say you're kind of a popular guy.
Yeah, I kind of actually I used to be very well known within school, and then I kind of drifted away from certain people, and I kind of made myself less popular, I guess. I didn't really care for them as much, but I knew a lot of people. Like I had a lot of acquaintances, a lot of friends. I knew people from everywhere, basically. So I guess you could say that.
I see. So you had like lots and lots of friends, and you kind of
Hmm.
said you were kind of like pruning back.
Yeah, I drifted away from certain crowd, like I was in band, and most of the kids in there were in higher placement classes, and I stuck with them. I liked how a lot of my friends, like my closest friends, are very, very good at school. We can say that. Very,
Okay.
very good. Yeah.
So what was say about being good at school? Was that what the criteria you had for your
Mm,
pruning?
no, they were just smart. I like intelligence a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, what sort of people did you prune back on?
I would say, I don't know, people who kind of did what everyone else did just so that they could fit in.
Hmm.
Yeah, it didn't like I didn't like that. I didn't like how people weren't themselves, I guess you could say. And I like quieter people. Like I like a lot. Most of my best friend is actually a really, really quiet person when he's around others. So, yep.
So it's like you were going for the quieter, more intelligent ones, and the
Yes.
ones who were kind of succeeding but more quiet about it. And
Mm-hmm.
those who were more conforming, more like everyone else, you kind of wanted to keep away from.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I mean, this is very general and stereotyping, but I felt like they weren't as intelligent or smart. I couldn't stand how closed-minded they were and narrow-minded they were. It always bothered me. I mean,
Hmm.
I got along with them, but I always felt different from them, I guess you could say.
I
I
see.
don't know.
So you're someone who's able to disassociate without burning a bridge.
Yep.
Okay. So that are you currently at college?
Yes, I am.
Hmm.
Yes.
What are you studying?
I was gonna do. What was I gonna do? Holy crap! I wanted to do marine science, and then I switched to general ed, and then now I'm thinking of switching my major to urban and regional planning, or going back to marine science. I don't know yet.
I see.
Yeah.
Why the indecision?
I don't know. I've I just don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life. When I think about it, I want to do something that I'm going to obviously make money in, but also something that I'm going to enjoy doing for the rest of my life. I'm not going to go and study something that, oh, I'm going to do this because I'm going to get a lot of money. No, I'm going to do this. It pays well. I like it. It's something I'm interested in, you know? I
Quite
just
a
want to enjoy
serious.
my life.
What was that?
I want to enjoy my life if I'm going to be doing something for a very long time.
I see. And you plan to be sticking to the one thing for a long time. So it
Yep.
has to be perfect. Gotcha. Okay. So, where would you see your life going then in the next, like, 50 years?
50 years. Wow. 50 years is far, but I want to have a family, obviously.
Hmm.
I want to have 2 kids, a girl and a boy. I want to be working. I want to be able to, I don't know. I just, I want to have a good family. That's
Hmm.
it, really. And I want to just enjoy what I'm doing. I see myself, I guess, having a family and having a house, living, like, I, that's it.
Hmm.
I've never thought about in detail, but I know what I want. So,
Is that something which you see yourself working towards now in the present, or is that something that you maybe want to return to later? Like, is that stability something you're seeking for now?
not entirely, no, not right now. I would say it would come eventually.
Mhm. What's now?
Excuse me?
What's your main goal now?
Oh, right now, well, right now, I just graduated high school last year, and I kind of feel stuck, I guess you could say. I feel like I'm not where I should be, but when I look at other things, I'm like, okay, I'm doing normal. It's normal for me to feel like this. I just graduated high school a year ago. I feel like I should already have my own apartment or something. I just feel like I should be farther. I'm right now. I want to buy my own car and then pay for the insurance. I want to get an apartment by the end of this year, and yeah, that's it. I just got rehired at my first job, and I love it. I want to try and become a lead there, like in a leadership position. But right now, I'm just trying to do well in my classes in college.
I see. So you almost want to establish that sort of is it independence you're looking for, or is it just
Yeah,
like I see?
yes, independence.
And why do you want the independence?
I don't know. I feel like that's where I should be.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
like yeah. So say it's not so much of a breaking free, so much as you feel that
No.
at your age you should have these things.
Yeah.
Cuando Christopher venga,
Yeah, I know.
you're not gonna be talking here.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Okay. Good night. All right.
You
Sorry.
know, we also have a family deal.
Yeah. I'm at my grandparents right now.
I
So
see.
yeah, and my
Okay.
uncle just moved back in because they're getting a house, and he's here with his wife and his 2 kids. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's actually today. It was supposed to be next week, but oh well. I was in the car with my grandfather. He's like, "Oh, Chris is here today." I was like, "Oh, all right, sweet." So I'm gonna have to be quiet for the majority of the night because I like to stay up late.
I see.
But yeah,
Is this your room then?
no, this is this room is so America. This is America.
I
It's
love the
my
gun on the wall.
Yeah, this is what it's done. I'm gonna show you. I want to show you. This is my
Okay.
grandfather's. He goes hunting a lot. This is his rack with all his guns. He hunts a lot, and he makes
Wow.
his bullets here.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he used to have all his fishing poles in here as well. And right here he has his bow, and he made these. Both.
That is a
It's his
pretty amazing room.
it's his man cave, I guess you could say.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Right. So, when you're still trying to decide what you want to do, there's a sort of a serious intent to find a job you can do for the rest of your life, so you can then have that sort of stability later. So, I don't think you're really thinking of any sort of like. Do you have any sort of like dream job?
Yes, I want to be a marine biologist. This is something I have in mind. A marine biologist
Yeah.
working from home. Since I live in Florida, there's marine wildlife on both coasts and in the south. So I want to be able to work from home, do my research, and I also wanted to be a firefighter. So I could be at home doing my research, and then when I need to go do firefighting, I'd go do firefighting for the weekend or whenever I need to work, and then I can go home and be with my family and have money. So that's what I would be ideal, I guess you could say.
Why the firefighting specifically?
I also wanted to be a firefighter a lot when I was younger.
Mhm.
No real reason, like not because I wanted to save people, but I I just want to be a firefighter.
Is this an exciting job?
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
you could say that.
What do you feel, or what do you do that you feel is an important part of who you are?
Understand people, I guess. I not understand. Hmm. I just get along with people very well. It's not like I try to, it just happens. I don't take things to heart. I like criticism. I like the truth. I like blank, like or blunt answers when I ask someone, "Oh, what do you think of this?" I hate sugarcoat. I hate when people sugarcoat things and they're telling me because in the back of my head I'm like, I don't know, because the other person did it like this and it was better and mine was kind of mediocre. Like I'd like that. I like straightforwardness.
Mhm.
Um, I just get along with people, I guess you could say. Um, I understand. I honestly don't know. I'm really, oh my God. I don't know. I couldn't go into depth with it. It's just something I know.
But yeah, there's certainly this anti-sugar coating. So you like that sort of like sincere, honest answers. But
Yes, yes, yes.
and at the same time, you're someone you say that you take things rather easy, that you're rather easygoing.
Yeah, I would say so. I guess I have a standard, but it's not like if someone breaks my standard or something I believe in, I get angry about it. I don't care too much. Like I'll listen to their like why they their opinion about it. I'll be like, okay, that makes sense. I guess that can make sense, and I'll add it into my thing, whatever I believe in, and I don't really take things to heart. So
Okay, more water under the bridge.
yeah, I could see all sides of things. I guess you could say I'm very open-ended or open-minded, is the other saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
What to say about your say? So you're interested in marine biology. Do you have any other hobbies and interests?
Well, I played the trumpet during high school. I did this professional marching band. We never got paid, but I like that. I play a lot of video. I don't play a lot of video games. I play a lot of one game for a long period of time, and then I'll find another game eventually, and I'll play that game for a long period of time. And that's it really. And I hang out with my friends and family.
Okay. So
Yeah.
computer games, music, and say that you like sort of variety in your games. So you like to try one thing out and then you move on to something else. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
but when I say long term, I mean like years. Like I've been playing this game for the past year and a half, and I'll keep playing it for another year and a half probably until I find another game, and I'll play that game for another 3 years maybe. So,
so you go into that game kind of in depth.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
And
Is
I
that
do
because you
typology stuff.
hmm? What's that?
I don't know if you consider typology a hobby or not.
I see. Okay, so the hobby is sort of thing where you stick to for years, yeah?
Yeah, something I'm interested in. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I would say.
Out of curiosity, why is marine biology your main area of interest?
Um, I grew up, like you see, my grandpa has all this hunting stuff. I
Yeah.
grew up with my grandparents mainly, and they're very outdoorsy. I like, I just love the ocean. Steve Irwin, if anything, I don't really have an idol in my life, but Steve Irwin, if anything, was my idol. When
Yeah.
I think about it, I like the kind of person he was, and I like the stuff he did with the animals. I just I like the ocean a lot too. Since I live in Florida, we go fishing a lot. Whenever we would go fishing, my grandpa would buy bait, and I would open the bait up. Like I'd get the knife, open the fish, see where the brain is, or where the eyes are, how the eyes are, and I would dissect the fish basically. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm just interested in the ocean, the animals there, and how much we don't know about it is pretty cool in my opinion.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you approach responsibility?
Oh God. Um, I know I need to do something, but it's hard for me to stick to it, I guess you could say. I want to be responsible, but it's not easy for me. It's responsible in what sense?
Like, well, for instance, a sort of responsibility where you feel you're obligated to do something, or either
Oh,
because
okay.
someone else is putting on you, or it becomes from yourself.
Or what?
Like, with the responsibility, would you say that you are someone who generates responsibility for yourself, or are you someone who more has to deal with responsibilities put on you by others?
By others, I guess you could say. And I want to be at the point where I can put it on myself. That's what I want.
I see. So responsibility is something that you want to become more of. You want to become more responsible, and but you're having difficulties being responsible. Oh, hello? I can't hear you. Um, no, I can't hear you. Hello? Let me just check the volume. No, my volume's fine. Okay, let me just send you a message with Facebook because there's a difficulty in communication. Let me sort that out right now. Oh, there's actually the text option. Let me use that. Oh, he's gone. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I hope he comes back. Hmm. Ah, here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
There
Ah,
we
there
go.
we go.
All
That
right.
must have been some sort of error.
Yeah.
Right. Right, what were we saying? We were talking about responsibility, yes.
Yes. I want to be able to put it on myself. I want to be able to do everything um, kind of on my own. I don't. I'm more the type of person right now, like at work. Um, if I don't know what I'm doing, I wait for someone to tell me to do it. But if I already know, oh, this is what I need to do, or this is what they want at the end of the day, then I'll do it. I'll go ahead and do it. But if I don't know, I'll have someone put the responsibility onto me.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So you're saying that almost like there is a drive to be responsible, but you kind of don't know exactly how to be responsible, what you need to do to carry out responsibility.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
See. What do you tend to expect of others?
Honestly, I was gonna say that earlier. With the straightforwardness, I expect people to treat me the same way I treat them. But people don't like straightforward. Not everyone likes straightforward answers. Like my mother, I have a lot of conflict with her because I'm very blunt. I'm a very blunt person. I say how it is. I have an example. I was at work, my old job, and someone was like, "Oh, I want to be a singer. I want to be a singer. I want to go to school, study music, and be a singer, like a superstar." And I'm like, that field's really hard to get a job in. You have to actually stick out. It's music. Performing arts is hard to get a job. I was being realistic. I was like, it's really hard to get a job. You have to stick out like a crazy flower. It's not easy. It's very cutthroat as well. And they're like, wow, way to crush my dreams. But like being friendly, not being serious, like, angry at me, but they were like, way to crush my dreams, Alex. I was like, I'm just trying to be honest with you. I don't want you to like go there and then you don't even get a job, and
Hmm.
So I guess you could say that.
So how do you balance the being blunt and realistic with staying on everyone's good side? Because you seem to be someone who's very, very likable.
Oh, that's what I don't understand. I guess that's why most people like me, since I'm very straightforward. I tell them I listen to what people have to say, and I'll tell them what I think, or what I would think the most obvious answer would be. I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, you said that there was some conflict with your mother about being
Oh yeah.
straightforward. So
Yes.
can you tell me a bit more about that? Like, what sort of situation would your straightforwardness clash with your mother?
Let's see. So here's I guess not. It's not really personal. Health insurance. My father stopped having me under his health insurance. My parents aren't together now, and my mom was like, "Oh, since I'm paying your health insurance, your father can help pay for your car." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good thing. It's good that you had to pay for the health insurance instead of him, because then you would have had to pay more money for the car, and he can help pay for the car instead." Instead of, I was saying it's better that you're paying for health insurance rather than him, because then you would have had to pay for the car. And she got really angry at me. I was like, "Why did you take it so personal?" She thought I was trying to be a smart ass, I guess. That's a one time, and
Hmm.
I don't know. She thinks that I'm very. She says I'm mean, but I don't feel like I'm mean. I just say how it is, say how things are.
So for you, it's like almost like a forthright giving of helpful information,
I
and
guess.
people
Yeah.
take it the wrong way sometimes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just mainly her, I guess.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
So imagine you don't really deliver it in a rather cutting or aggressive manner. It just seems to be rather forthright with like a will to help.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Hmm. So you said that you had quite a lot of friends. You kind of pruned back on those.
Mhm.
Do you would you say that your friends are belong to a certain group or that they or a certain community?
Hmm. Though my current ones, they were all in band. I guess you could say that they were all in band. Um, they all have really high GPAs. They were in National Honor Society. They were in the IB program. Yeah, Margot.
You want me to open the couch bed or you want to sleep on top?
I'll sleep in the couch bed.
Open it?
Yeah. Yeah, they were part of I don't know what you would call them. They all had really good GPAs. I have a friend who's actually going to one of the top colleges in America. Um, my best friend, he's
Um, I can't hear you again. Hello? Mm-mm. I think you're gonna have to do the. Yeah, there we go. Mm. There you go.
hello.
Hello. Yeah,
What
that's
is
good.
happening?
I don't know what's going on. Also, then when you are talking, usually the little mic thing like flashes on and off on the bottom of your icon.
Oh,
So
really?
something dodgy about your mic, maybe.
Yeah.
I was saying,
What was the last thing you heard?
yes, you were talking about your friend with the high GPA who's going to one of the
Yes.
highest colleges in the country.
Yes. He's going to one of the most prestigious college in America. I have a childhood friend who I got along with very well.
Hmm.
He goes to Yale University. He was a really good student, but because his mom made him a good student, I guess um, they're all they were all in band. He was in band as well. Yeah, that's it. That's the group I would put him in.
I see. Okay, and when you say that, could you describe like how this band group works? Like, is there a certain pecking order? Is there a hierarchy?
There was, but I was always referred to as leadership, as a leadership position, but I didn't really go by it. I kind of didn't obey it, I guess you could say. Um, my teacher always wanted me to do leadership, and I was like, I don't want to, because after I did drum corps, um, like I said, it's like professional marching band, so people automatically looked up to me because I did that. But I never let it get through my head. I actually have a friend who wrote something about me on my Facebook, and she said how humble I was and how I wanted to teach others what I learned. It wasn't like I wanted to boss them around. Oh, I did drum corps, so you're gonna listen to me. It was not like that at all. I was very, I just wanted to help and make people better.
Mm.
So there was a hierarchy, but I never really, it
You,
wasn't, it didn't, I never thought about it or I guess respected it.
you kind of rejected the hierarchy. For you, it was more about yeah, it's like what you could do to help in
Hmm.
general rather
Yeah.
than I
There
see.
was people who were leaders and they wouldn't do they didn't have the leadership qualities that they should have, I guess. They
Mm.
would just do what they were told to say instead of, oh, I also do this and we can incorporate it into this. Like they wouldn't put their own judgment into what the teacher wanted us to do. It was
I see.
only, oh, the teacher says it like this, so it's only like this. There's only one way of doing it.
I see. Okay. Hmm. How are you with romantic relationships?
Oh boy. Uh very I don't like to make the first move with anything.
Hmm.
I don't like doing the first move because I don't know if it'll offend them or if it's not the right moment. I don't I don't do very well with that
Hmm.
at all. It's very I feel awkward or I feel uncomfortable, I guess, sometimes. Yeah.
I see. So say you're the one who's worried about offending. You're the one who's worried about perhaps going too far or being too forward.
Yeah. Yes.
So does it mean that you like someone being more forward with you?
Oh, you're cutting out. I can't hear you.
Oh, hello? Uh, can you hear me now? Hello? Hmm. Let me just make sure my internet's working. Yeah, my internet's working fine. Hello? Gone again. Ugh. Remember, kids, don't do interviews from your grandparents' house.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, this is
I think
so
your
agitating.
don't worry. I've had far worse technical problems in the
Uh,
past. Yeah,
hold
we've
on.
had some nightmares.
I'm gonna go and get my laptop. Maybe that's why. I'll be right back.
Okay, seems a bit. We could do like the old switcheroo. Hmm. Oh, we got a viewer. We had two viewers. Where's the other viewer gone? Hmm. Hope people are asking questions. Let's see if there's any questions going on. Hmm. Did anyone think of asking any questions?
To convert.
Hello.
Okay.
Is he doing the switcheroo with the laptops?
Yes, I'm on my iPad right now. I'm hoping that's what it is because this is ridiculous. But yeah, what were we saying?
Hmm. We were talking about. Oh yes, about. I was asking you. So do you prefer other people to be more forward with you?
Oh, okay, yes, when it comes to the romantic part, yes.
Specifically to the romantic part. So, where would you
Yeah.
say that you don't appreciate forwardness?
What do you mean by that?
Like, and you said like to romantic parts, just for you. That's very specifically to in regards to romantic relations. Would you say that you are a rather proactive person in general, other than in the romantic field?
Like what the person's gonna say or
Hmm.
what they're thinking, I guess. I, hmm. I don't know. I don't really do well with romantic things. The relationships I have had that I've enjoyed the most was where we could literally just be together and we could do nothing and we just talk and enjoy each other. I don't know. That's
I
what
see.
I I don't know what to say for that. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
I'm
What
sorry.
role? No, that's fine. With those you care about, whether romantic or not, what
hmm
role do you tend to play?
Uh, the more I'm mostly the person that they ask me what I want to do. I'm
Hmm.
always or what we should do. I'm always the one to make the decision or the leader, I guess you could say.
Hmm. Okay. So you say you are more you are quite a natural leader, but you don't like leading
Yes.
through hierarchy.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. That's exactly how I am.
Can you give me examples of your leadership? Like, what do you do as a leader?
Um, I listen to what people have to say, and I don't like tell, oh, that's stupid. I'll tell them, oh, maybe we can incorporate it into this, or we can add it onto this, or I can try it and see how it works with this. I'm,
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not very, what could you say? When people give me input for something, I'll listen. I don't, I'm not quick to shut them out at all.
Hmm. Makes sense. Okay. Hmm. Oh yes. What have you always been able to do without much effort?
People,
Hmm.
uh, people liking me. My,
That's interesting.
yeah, I didn't, I don't know. That's it. And, let's see. Looking forward, um, knowing what people are gonna say. Sometimes I can finish someone's sentence without them saying it, or I already know what they are gonna tell me, or I have an idea of what they're gonna want me to do,
Mhm.
in a sense.
So I just noticed about you. Okay, you say that it's very easy. And you said this earlier on in the interview that you find it very easy to get people to like you. That
Mhm.
people liking you is easy for you and straightforward.
Mhm.
Yet you seem to be someone who's worried about upsetting people as soon as it seems to get romantic,
Not upsetting them, but making them uncomfortable, or
uncomfortable.
going too far. You know.
Mhm. How is it that in like the social area, you're able to do just fine? Like people always say
Oh
that
yeah, yeah. I
you
just act myself around people. Like I'm trying to find an example. Mm, Um, I try not to offend people. I guess you could. I do that sometimes. I'll think about what I'm gonna say before I say it, and if I don't know the person, I'll probably hold back completely. But if it's someone I know or an acquaintance, then I'll give a direct answer. So if it's someone I don't know, I won't necessarily be as blunt as I would with someone that I already know.
Mhm. I see. So you've managed to, as it were, master exactly in which situation to be a certain way around certain people.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But as soon as it gets to like that sort of romantic relationship,
Oh.
where it's not about where it's not so much about just being yourself, so to speak, but more there's something at stake
Yeah.
in terms of the relationship of a person you don't quite know how to act.
Mhm. Yeah. I don't like doing the first thing. I like it when they do it, and then I'll be able to. Okay, you're letting me do this, or you want to do this.
Hmm. Okay. Hmm. So what do you find a persistent struggle?
What do you mean by that?
Like something which you've always found to be something difficult, or something which you've been almost been unable to
Oh,
do properly.
remembering things for a long period of time. I remember little details
Yes.
in long term, but not in short term. Like, I don't even know if this is a good example, but I can see something. I'll look around the room. I'll see something, and I'll read it, or I'll see the object, and then someone will ask, "Oh, have you seen this around?" I'm like, "I saw it, but I don't know where exactly I saw that. I'm not very good with details, like long-term details. I can know that I saw it, but I won't know exactly where. I can tell you in the general area where I probably saw what they're asking for. And organization, staying organized. Like, I can organize something, but I can't stay organized.
What do you mean by staying organized?
I can organize something for myself or someone else, and if I were to organize it for myself, like, I'm gonna clean my room. My room's gonna be dirty in the next 10 seconds. Like, I find no point in me cleaning my room if it's just gonna get back to where it is again. But when it comes to work, especially work, I hate having disorganization or chaos. I like structure at my job.
So when you're actually working, are you able to, how are you able to stay organized when you're working then?
I don't know. It's just easier. I don't know how. I guess it's because I have that mindset. Oh, I'm at work, and they're expecting me to be this way, so I have to, and I want to keep my job, and I enjoy my job. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, you said also about you had difficulty remembering long-term details. I just wanted to break that down a little bit because I know it seems what is the difference between long-term details and short-term details?
I don't even know what I mean. For school, I'm bad at regurgitating what the professor's saying.
Yeah.
I'll remember what I need to learn. Like, I don't know if long-term details was the right thing to say, or short-term details. I just have trouble remembering things. I guess that's what I should have said instead of details. But I'm also not good with details at all.
Would you say that you have a? So when you say not good at detail, you don't really have an eye for detail?
Yes. Like today we were closing. I was closing the store and we had to restock everything. And I called my friend and I'm like, hey, can you look at this? I don't have I said I don't have eyes for closing. I don't have it like for specific, like in-depth detail when it comes to that. And she's like, why are you asking me? I'm like, because I trust your judgment on whether it's good or not. I don't really trust my judgment when it comes to things being a certain in a certain organization with that.
Things being in a certain organization, like things being in a certain. What do you mean? So like things being like a certain order, or so?
Yeah, whether the pattern, like we had 6 snow globes, and then the other side had 8 or 9, and it didn't make the same shape that I had. They weren't in the same shape. It was impossible. And I was like, oh, what could we do with this? And she would like, oh, we can move this one over here, and then we can move it like this, like that. I'm like, okay, thank you for your help.
Okay. So in other words, you're not someone who really makes decisions as to the exact specifics of where things go,
Yes.
And so you want someone else to provide that sort of decision making for you.
Oh yes, the people that I found that I've been attracted to the most have been very organized people. The most recent girl, she has her closet color coded, and she's just a very organized person, and she's very what is the word, strong-willed, and if she says something, she sticks to her word. Like, she's very loyal. She remembers everything, the littlest thing. Like, if I said, oh, I like this, like, for me, it's just like I'm just saying, oh, I like this in the moment, but then she'll remember, I remember you said you liked that, so I got it for you, and like, I like that a lot. I wish I could do something like that. I wish I was able to do that. I value that in people a lot.
Okay, great. So just going for that again. Someone who remembers things they say and sticks to their word, has a good eye for detail and organization, has a sort of strong will.
Yes.
Okay. So can you give me an example of that sort of strong will?
They have values and they live by them, but not to an extent where they're forcing their values onto you.
Yes.
That's the kind of person I like. And they if she says she's gonna do something a certain way, she'll do that way. If she says she's gonna do it, period, she'll always do it. She sticks to her word. She she's just very how do I say it? Oh my goodness.
Integrity?
Yeah, integrity. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Integrity
Okay.
is the word.
How do you like to learn?
Um, I like for me to hear what they're saying and then they show me.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I need to do hands-on stuff, that helps a lot too. Like for right now, when I'm on my own and I'm on the internet doing research for typology, I'll read something and then I'll go onto a different website, see what this website says, and I'll compare the two and I'll see how they relate and if they work, and then I'll kind of make up my own way of understanding it,
Mm-hmm.
but with what I learned on the internet.
Okay. So what do you mean your own way of understanding it? So you don't read copy it fact for fact, I suppose, but you more how does it form in your head?
What's logical to me, or what would make sense to me? I don't know if that's a right answer or not. Whatever's logical to me, I guess.
Hmm. How do you like to explain things to other people?
This is really ironic since I'm not really good at details, but say I'm explaining a direction to someone.
Mm-hmm.
I work at a theme park. If I'm
Yeah.
telling someone how to get to the show at 10 o'clock in Z Stadium, I'll tell them the shortest way. I'll say, you're going to make a right here, and you're going to go all the way down. Once you see the tower, look to the right side of the tower. You'll see the bridge. You're going to take that bridge straight across, and the stadium's right in front of you. So I'll have key things that'll point out when it comes to going somewhere, a very iconic thing for the area, something that they'll recognize, and then they'll be okay, tower, make a right, bridge, go on bridge, something like that. And when I'm explaining something like say I'm explaining typology to someone from the cognitive functions point of view, I'll be very exactly how I read upon it. I won't exactly explain it the way I understand it. I'll explain it the way that it's said on the internet.
Okay. So in other words, you actually convert out of your personal understanding.
Yeah, because I can't really explain it. I'm bad when it comes to explaining myself, when it comes to understanding things like that. When it comes to, yeah.
Okay. So just we say what's logical to you is not necessarily logical to other people.
Not at all.
Very interesting. So, but that's interesting. So would you say that rather than logical, we say just makes sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't it an intuitive grasp?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. How do you approach conflict?
It depends on what kind of conflict. If you could give me a type, what like
Okay. Okay. Let's start with maybe more physical example. If someone's getting up in your face, someone's being rather physically pushy.
I've never been in that situation before. I try to avoid that.
Try to avoid that sort of physical confrontational
I've
situation.
never been in a fight or anything. I've had someone come at me one time in high school, and I was like, it was an accident. Something happened by accident. I was like, dude, it was an accident. Like, relax. You don't need to get like that. That's what I did. I was kind of avoiding the whole physical aspect of it.
Okay. And what about in a sort of more is it a more behind the scenes, more social sort of conflict where someone's trying to use some sort of political machination?
As if we had a disagreement upon what we believe in.
Yeah, or maybe no, not necessarily when we live in one more like political, like
Literally
like politics. A certain
political.
group, like different
Literally.
people are trying. Yeah.
Okay, literally political. Well, I'm not a very political person, so I don't care.
Okay, so you don't get involved in sort of
No,
one person trying to get their friends onto this sort of thing, and
no, not at all.
mhm. So for you, it's like just trying to avoid conflict in general.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
But if it comes to a workplace and we need someone's having conflict with another person, no, I avoid conflict. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So what have people done to confuse, hurt, annoy, or anger you?
What do people do to do that?
Yeah.
I hate stupidity. Um, I hate closed-minded people, ignorant people. Um, what makes me mad a lot. I've never been bullied my entire life. But when I see someone picking on someone else or bullying them, that angers me a lot, and I'll speak for the person that's being bullied if they don't. That's always bothered me my entire life. I hate when someone takes advantage of the weaker person.
Mm.
Yeah.
So for you, it's basically just in general, sort of like the sort of might is right philosophy is something which you find rather unappealing.
Yeah. Like I'm not like I've said, I've never been one to let things get to my head and like the doing drum corps and being a leader, I never made that. I was never, oh, I did drum corps, listen to me. And I feel like people shouldn't ever let their let their ego or their, like you said, the might is right. I don't think that's correct.
Okay. So how do you tend to feel towards those who may have wronged you?
I don't really have any words for them. I don't I don't really care. Like it's not my fault and it's whatever. Like it was their choice. If someone did do something wrong to me and I know about it, it's their choice. It never really got to me. I've never been bothered by that.
I see.
It shocked me in the moment. I'm like, wow, can't believe you did that, but hey, it's your fault. Fuck you.
Okay. So in general, it's not really it's like you don't really want to hang on to the negative emotion. You just want to let it go.
Yep.
Okay. What behaviors in people do you simply not understand?
Hmm. Uh, Emotional disagreements, like as people are arguing and they just continue arguing and it escalates to the point where they're yelling at each other, but there's no real or logical, like one of the people can be very in my point of view, very they can be mature and say, hey, there's clearly something wrong and we have a disagreement, let's figure it out instead of arguing and keep going on. I hate when people argue and they don't have a they don't actually try to solve the problem. They just keep going at it and going at it and going at it. And they say things to make the other person angry, and the other person says the same thing. So it's like fueling a fire, and it just keeps going, and it never gets fixed. I hate that. I hate people who are. I don't hate, but that bothers me a lot. Um, the question was, what behaviors in people anger me or bother me?
Yeah.
Um, like I said, people who take advantage of people who are weaker. Um, People who are ignorant, very close-minded. Um, yeah, that those people.
Okay. Describe an utopia with ideals and laws you see as most preferable.
Hmm. This one's hard. I've never thought about this before. Uh, hmm. Um, I guess people being not being so not no war. I don't see a reason for war. Um, I don't know if I could I don't think religion should be a thing. I feel like that's the cause to a lot of problems in the world.
Mhm.
Uh, People, I honestly don't know. Can I skip that question?
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
But it's interesting that you never actually thought about like an ideal world.
Yeah, I've never. I've just thought about things that we could do to fix our current world. I feel like religion shouldn't
Nice.
be a thing. War is unnecessary. I just think people should kind of relax a little bit more.
So
That's kind of
you think more about fixes to reality
yeah,
rather than the fantasy.
yeah, I guess. Although, yeah.
Okay. What about the world we live in particularly irritates you?
Uh, how we discreetly social media and media in general like binds us to this one way things need to be. Like everything has to be this way because it's ideal to it's ideal in the sense that everything is like this. I don't like how I just don't like politics. I feel like it's unnecessary. Like my friend posts these things on Facebook about um, global warming and how Republicans don't like it and Democrats. I'm like, who, dude? It doesn't matter. Like, no matter what, who's in office, I feel like it's gonna be the same thing. It's just
Hmm.
another reason or another thing for people to argue about and bicker about and like, I don't know. And what else? I feel like we're on a leash. It's pathetic how we have to pay to live on our own planet, but it's the way it is.
I see.
We're basically making ourselves. I don't know. I think it's silly when you think about it in a bigger picture. How it's our planet, but we're making ourselves do work to live on our planet. I don't know.
So you say you have issue with the laws that are currently
Yeah, I
in
guess, but
place?
not literally issues with the laws, like to the point where I'm gonna go kill someone, you know,
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
shoot up heroin.
So say more like you just have like a sort of non-violent dislike of certain rules being enforced.
hmm
Okay. Um, what do you fear happening in the world?
Just everyone fighting, going to war, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know. Or yeah, that's it. And people, one person taking control of the entire world, and we're all like robots.
Hmm. So fear of uh, it's a fear of overcoming robots. Like sort of, they also harks back to the beginning when you said that you dislike that sort of conformity and people being like each other.
Yeah, yes, like that.
Hmm. Okay. Now, okay, so those are all the questions which are on the actual interview. I just want to try and clarify a few more things because
Okay.
at least I'm pretty sure of your quadra values. I think that's very clear from talking to you. But I wanted to clear up the exact type within the quadra values.
Okay.
So I want to go more over sorts of strengths and weaknesses. So
Okay.
you said that you're someone who was yes, but you said you had difficulty with details. I remember you tend
Yeah.
to like let someone else take charge in sorting out the details.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's also you said that you were also less certain of yourself in terms of whether you're going too far with another person, whether you were especially in a romantic situation.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, right. Would you say that you are someone who is very good at knowing how you feel towards another person? So if you yourself are romantically interested, you know exactly who you're romantically interested in.
No.
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 Okay. Hmm. Now, what do you say that? So would you say that you don't tend to actually look around and see who you actually like?
I don't at all.
Hmm.
I don't. It's not like a thing that I think of. My mom always was like, "Oh, do you have a girlfriend?" No. It's not
Hmm.
like a priority of mine. I never really cared. If it happened, it happened. If it came up, it came up.
Hmm. I see. So you haven't really been thinking about that sort of romantic aspect.
Mm-mm.
Um,
It takes time. Yeah.
what do you mean by it takes time?
Like the girl that I described to you who was very organized, color coded.
Yeah.
We actually spent a lot of time together
Hmm.
before I became attracted to her. and I've learned more about her. I was like, wow, I really like this. It was that kind of thing. It wasn't like, oh, you're beautiful, let's date.
Yeah, so you kind of have to have formed that sort of bond before you start
Yes.
thinking about that person.
Yep.
Hmm. And in terms of forming that bond, that sort of friendship, is that something which you are more confident in doing, regardless of
Confident?
the romantic part? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're good at actually creating the sort of bond and setting it out and being the sort of
Yeah, but it's not
environment.
like a goal, but it happens, you know. I'm better at that than the romantic part.
So for me, it's because when I was asking about the romantic part, what did you have in mind when I was thinking about the romantic part?
Sexual things, holding
Okay.
hands, things like that.
That sort of more
Uh,
physical, more
yeah,
impulsive interaction, just really.
and like taking someone on a date. I
Okay,
wouldn't call it a date. I would say, hey, you want to go hang out? That type of thing.
I see. Right. Okay. So in other words, we've got a sense here of you're good at actually staying in good relations with people. You're good at forming a sort of bond with someone, but you don't the actual taking sort of that sort of impulsive action. You yourself don't actually aren't really able
Mm.
to do confidently. You
Yes,
also
that's
don't have
exactly.
a very good eye for detail, and you kind of want someone else to take charge and more of it, the details. So where things actually situated. Say you kind of want to be organised in your house, but you don't actually currently maintain the organisation in your house yourself.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Okay, right. So already from that also separates something out there. Okay. Now you say also you're very interested in problem solving in terms of what sort of helping people, finding sort of daily solutions. Now, would
Hmm.
you say that? However, you say that you're also someone who's very good at staying liked by someone. Would you, which aspect would you say has been the natural thing from since when you were younger? The being able to be to appeal to others, to be able to actually stay on good terms with people, or the sort of more um, practical problem solving aspect?
Um, the practical problem solving aspect.
That's been around longer.
I would say so. Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
the reason people liked me was because I would help them with their problems, or most
Okay.
people. Yeah. It's because I listened
Ah,
and yeah.
so when okay, so you like because you were helping them with their problems.
Hmm.
Now, when I say helping you them with their problems, like you say you're someone who like knew exactly how to do something, that you like you'd read up on all the data and you knew what the practical solution was, or was it more about listening and actually listening to a person's problems and you're using your bond to advise on what may be the right thing for them?
It would be the right thing. The right thing.
The right thing. So more of a sort of like not so much so more than someone who just like gives you like the instruction manual. You say it's more about the sort of almost like the sort of psychotherapy thing where you're talking
Yes.
to someone, you're
Yes.
counseling.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, right, okay. And would you say, and also say you have difficulty staying organized? Would you say that you are a particularly productive person?
Um, what do you mean by productive?
Now, productive, like, would you say you're a sort of person who gets all the schedules sorted out, who's able to actually get something done efficiently, like you're able to immediately know how you need to approach this new situation?
Yes, yes, I would say that, but it's not something that I would do like out of nowhere. It's something I can do very
Yeah.
well, but it's not something I just do. Oh, I'm bored. I'm gonna do this. That type of thing. I wouldn't do it like that, and I'd have to need to do it as well.
Hmm.
Or if someone's depending on me, like when it comes to decision making and okay, Alex, where do you want to go? And then I'll be like, okay, where do you want to go? All right, if you want to go there, then if we go here first, then this is the quickest way or the more efficient way and what would make sense type thing.
Hmm.
And when it came to schedule, like if I'm going on a road trip with friends and we're in a town, then
Yes.
I would be the one to find the times and all that. And I'll be like, okay, we can do this. If no one else wants to take the initiative to do this, then I would do it. I
I
wouldn't
see.
mind doing it. But I'm not the one to say, oh, I'll do it right away.
Hmm. Okay. Now, also, you said that you're particularly attracted to people who have like high attainments, like who show cleverness. who get the higher GPA. Would you say you're one of these people? I noticed you didn't actually say it about yourself.
No, I wasn't. I was
You
not
weren't.
one of those people.
You were not the studious person who actually.
Not at all. I was average GPA. I did my schoolwork to get by, just to get by.
So what causes this attraction to intelligence?
Most of the people were organized. They smart. They remembered things that mainly how they remembered everything and details, and I could keep a conversation with them, and they wouldn't talk about little things. In my opinion, little things like, "Oh, did you hear what Bobby said about Joseph?" That is so tiring to me, and it's like I don't really care what Bobby said about Joseph. I hated gossip. It was so annoying. It tired me out. Emotional conflict tires me out.
I see. Emotional
Gossip. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so essentially, also, yes, there was like for the big things you want attached to people. The small things only is more to do with processes, which I find rather interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. I can see the blocking. Yeah, you're definitely a certain quadra. Which okay. I was interested in to find out more about. Yes, I want to say. So you're saying with someone you tend to have like. When you actually go into certain interests, you tend to stick with that interest for a longer period of time. Like we say, you're rather slow and more deliberate in how you go about your interests.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in music. Yeah. Music, games, typology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you do also get the sense of being eclectic, like very open-minded to different things.
Yes.
But you say that you aren't the sort of person who is like continually going after one thing, then the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing.
Yeah, I wasn't very sporadic, like spontaneous as it. The way that you said it, the going after next thing, next thing, next thing, next thing, it wasn't like that.
Yeah. Okay.
You said it right.
Right. Okay, I have essentially a reasonably strong suggestion for your type.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be absolute. Oh, I would be interested in showing this video to my diagnostic team because I think they want to see if they have a similar opinion. My suggestion is, okay, first of all, throughout the video, I thought what was most likely from your values was the delta quadra.
Delta quadra?
Delta quadra. So the idea that there was, first of all, there's this lack of interest in conformity, this lack of interest in actually being part of the group or being or belonging to everyone else, or sharing a similar ideology. It seemed to be more about going by your own drumbeat, doing things in a sort of individualism, being being unafraid to say how you personally feel in different situations, and so the values seem to come internally. And you also seem to value integrity in others, a sort of idea that people are sincere to their personal feelings in saying things.
Mm-hmm.
A sentence is very, very, which is very often we find, it's also your approach towards others who may have wronged you, although you are certainly discerning in that you pick out people who you want to spend time with as opposed to people you don't want to spend time with, and you seem to be rather good at thinking that through. You don't seem to combine that with harshness or any sort of aggression. Instead, there seems to be more of a sort of good faith judgment, which and it's the idea that when you are talking to people, you're very, very forthright. You almost want to help people in any way you can, and also how you enjoy when you are trying to give factual information. You're not necessarily trying to kill their dream. You're not.
Yeah.
You don't want to. You seem to be very much against the sort of aggression in general. In fact, even in your relationship, in your interest in the relationship you may have had, you were very, very reluctant to make it cross into the more carnal, more proactive, more physical sphere. You were almost afraid to take a sort of more of assertive action. Instead, there seemed to be sort of more rejection of it, and instead of just helping people in general, and especially helping through practical, more detailed steps. And you seem to very much enjoy that sort of atmosphere. So overall, this very much sounds like something from the Delta Quadrant. This sort of valuing of introverted ethics are coming from your personal feelings in terms of your ideas, that more eclectic interest in multiple different ideas and possibilities. in terms of sensation, specifically introvert sensation, so things being more comfortable and relaxing and enjoyment based, and this sort of in terms of logic, what's practical and more helpful. And specifically from that, the idea that the extroverted logic and introverted sensation would be going together and sort of practicality in the day-to-day, and whereas the intuition and ethics go together in terms of people possibilities, people's potential to serve as meaningful, important relations in your life. So, and also how you were thinking about your job, you were trying to find something which you could see yourself enjoying doing in the long run. So it's definitely a pursuit of stability, definitely a pursuit of the sort of family and enjoyment of life. But at the same time, there was a sense of responsibility going into that. So not as much the sort of what's the word? Not so much the more expressive or childish fun-seeking, more of a almost a more mature approach to enjoyment, which is very much in line, I feel, with the Delta approach.
Okay.
Now, of Delta, and this is why I was asking the extra question, because I still wasn't quite sure, you were kind of dipping in and out of all the different areas and points on Delta. I was trying to find which were the areas of strength, which were the areas of weakness. And what you said about that sort of, you let someone else take charge in terms of the details, in terms of the where things should be. That was already that was suggesting to me, and also that you yourself weren't able to keep things organized yourself. This is something that you almost aspired to be, but you yourself weren't very good at actually maintaining that sort of structure yourself in the long run. Maintaining, keeping things clean, keeping things looking nice, etc. And that once you put things in order, they kind of gotten out of control again. It was suggested to me that you're more likely to be in the intuitive area than the sensory area.
Oh, I can feel that.
And also that you said, and also you said right from the beginning in the interview that you were saying good at keeping on people's good side. You were good at basically you had no enemies. You had no one particularly against you. And at the same time, there was this sheer a complete absence of any sort of conflict in your relations with others. That even when someone was physical against you, just wanted to you just insisted it was an accident, wanted to avoid the aggression situation entirely. It suggested to me that that maybe extrovert sensation, so that more forceful, more aggressive aspect of sensation was one that's particularly rejected by you. And also that your yes, and that you may be what's the word? Yeah, maybe even extrovert sensation vulnerable.
So that would mean that's my last function?
Yes, so I'm not saying last, but like the one which is in the fourth position, so the one which you don't want anything to do with at all, and you're particularly off-put by the area. At the same time, you were rather critical of the sort of like showing emotions and conforming to things, which suggested despite yourself being quite likable. So that suggests to me that you could handle the ethical part. But you can do that rather confidently, rather well. How you describe it, you were good in staying in good relations with people, which suggests you had a stronger introverted ethics, but that you, as a result, you didn't really value extroverted ethics, which you said, which suggests that the ethics could still be strong, but with extrovert ethics not being valued and introverted ethics being valued. So the intuition and the ethics together suggests for you will be more of a Delta humanitarian. And I think, there was a red herring earlier in your interview when you were talking about the romantic relations, and I thought, ooh, maybe you're not good at the introverted ethics because what I'd initially interpreted from your interview was that you just had a difficulty knowing, establishing a relationship with someone. But later, what made more sense about it wasn't necessarily the relationship, it wasn't necessarily the bond. In fact, you actually needed the bond to go any further. Instead, it seemed to be that sort of moving forward in the carnal sense, that sort of sexually aggressive part that you couldn't do, which says it was actually weakness and extrovert sensation and not introverted ethics, which actually could be very, very strong. Now, the difference between the two Delta man turns on the temperament, which is why I was going into the latter part of whether it's more like sporadic, lots of interests, or as opposed to this more meaningful approach to interests over a longer period of time. And it suggests to me that you're more likely to be the latter, the more balanced and controlled version, rather than the more flexible, maneuvering temperament.
Mm-hmm.
So more likely to be introverted and rational than extroverted and irrational.
Okay.
So you don't really seem to have the same level of spontaneity. And also, in general, your interests, the things you find particularly interesting, they seem to be at least subservient to your personal values and your personal ideas of what is right or important in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I think also that I think it was at some point earlier, you haven't really. Yes, there's still this eclecticness, but it's not like this overwhelming need to chase after things that are particularly shiny or interesting at a particular moment. And that the impulsive doesn't really come through in your behavior. Instead, it seems to be more about forming these more personal attitudes, and then at the same time being open-minded about alternative possibilities. In which case, that leaves the extroverted logic, as in other words, how to do things productively or efficiently, as more of a suggestive function. So more something that you almost want to be provided from others. I get the sense that this is possibly why, although you yourself may have not done so well in the GPA in grade point average, and being more of an average student, you were very much attracted to people who suggested signs of being clever, who also knew how to do things in a more productive way. So that suggests to me that it's more of your suggestive function. Although the way you were talking about it in the interview, it seemed like something that was more strong. So there are still areas which I found a bit more, which I'm slightly doubtful of in terms of their extroverted logic. But because we're talking about introverted ethics as being most likely a leading function, that seems to fit in terms of introverted ethics with extroverted intuition helping introverted ethics, and which then necessitates extroverted sensation as being a very, very weak point. And I think that definitely seems to make sense in terms of your certainly how you approach romantic relationships. Extroverted logic would naturally fall into the suggestive, which would be a weak position but a valued position, something which you kind of desire from others. And I get the sense that because of how you describe your relationship to others in class, and it would be with high GPAs, it does suggest to me that may be the case if it's a suggestive function. So overall, I think that EII will make sense as your socionics type. Which, yeah, I suppose that's so it's definitely close to the ENFJ idea in MBTI, but it's more about the personal feelings as being the main point. Understanding how what one feels is good or bad about a person, whether someone is a good person worth spending time with in the long run, and then seeing the potential that person brings to you as a friend, and then. I was also interested in your mobilizing function, I think. Yeah, because that would be the introverted sensation, the pursuit of comfort and enjoyment. And maybe that's something which you did certainly kind of communicate that in your attitudes, that you kind of prefer things to be more relaxing and more enjoyable. So that could be something which that makes sense as a mobilizing function, something which you kind of want to grow in. But yeah, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
I think I've said a lot already.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually go online and read up on all of the stuff that you're saying about suggestive functions and all that after we hang up here.
Okay. What I'll say is that the EII profile is probably the least well written on sociotype.com out of the papers available. Although I've recently written my own EII profile, which maybe you'll find useful. So I think I'll send that to you.
All right,
anyway, I do want other people to watch this video to see if they have any second opinions. So, because this interview it said it wasn't the easiest one, which I asked extra questions. But I think that out of the types in Delta, which I'm very, very sure on, EIM is the safest bet.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can post it, and I'm interested in what other people have to say. I mean, I don't feel like I'm a simple person when it comes to this stuff. I have trouble explaining myself sometimes too, and I can't find the right words when it comes to this. So
makes sense. So actually, maybe why say that is that kind of because you almost like you feel how things are, as it were, in a more intuitive sense, and you have difficulty then conveying that into information that's more concrete.
Yeah. I guess you could say that.
Okay.
It's kind of like that. I just know, or
Hmm.
I just know. It's hard for me to explain. When it comes to explaining myself and how I do things, it's difficult for me to do that.
That makes sense. Okay. Oh, interesting. We actually have 5 viewers now. That's pretty impressive. Let me just last thing. I just want to check see if any other questions because some people like to post questions in the Q&A. I don't know if anyone actually did this time because people used to. I think they stopped doing it as much now. No questions. All right. In which case, that's everything. So
All
thank you
right.
very much for the interview.
All
And
right.
if
Thanks,
you have any
Jack.
further questions, just contact me on Facebook and I can help out.
All right. Thanks. Have a good night/morning.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye bye.